and happy Victober Eve. It is actually September 30th as I'm filming this, and I am just preparing my house for the wonderful season of Victober. You probably saw, hopefully, I got the montage to work of everything that I have in my house at the present moment for my fall time Victober experience, and I'm very excited about it. I got port wine today because apparently that is a thing that the Victorians liked to drink, as well as gin. And I definitely have a lot of gin in my house. Well, not a lot, but a bottle. Because I like to make gin and tonics. And I might try to find something that is specifically Victorian with a gin base to it. We'll see. I did find a gin punch, so I might see about making some of that this Victober, but I'm definitely going to try some port. It is apparently very high in alcohol content, so it's going to have to be just a little bit at night. And I am also going to have some Guinness in the evenings sometimes, and because that has been around since the 1790s, I believe. So that was definitely something a Victorian would have had to drink. And of course, some tea. I might try to incorporate more tea into my morning routine instead of coffee. That I don't know if that's gonna work, but we'll see. So I have a very, very ambitious TBR for Victober, but I think that I have a decent schedule worked out, at least for the beginning. So let me show you what I created today, and I will show you how my schedule is going to work out. So I have been rather bad at bullet journaling this year. I mean, 2020, we don't have to say anything about it, but it's not been really great for sticking to a schedule and a routine. So now that I feel kind of like back in the groove of life, I decided that I was going to create a calendar schedule page for Victober. So I'm really pleased with how this turned out. Now, first of all, I did draw these. However, I pretty much copied them from images I found on the internet. So don't think that these are my own creations. There was a sign that I found that said Victorian something or other. So I just copied most of the letters and then created these on my own. And then Kate from the novel Nomad, put something in her stories today with this little image on it. So I recreated it on my bullet journal. So, and then let's see, and then this is my schedule for day one. Shirley by Charlotte Bronte, Woman in White by Wilkie Collins, Two in the Tower by Thomas Hardy for the Stitch and Listen, and Grania, The Story of an Island by Emily Lawless. This is going to be a buddy read with Terry from Terry Talks Books. And this is a buddy read with Sarah from The Bookish Knitter. So, yeah, but I was really excited with how that turned out. Hello, friends. It is October 1st, and that means it is the first day of Victober. Cheers! Yay! I have poured myself a small-ish glass of port wine because according to my very minimal research, port wine, port was what the fancy Victorian men usually would drink, during their soirees. So I have never tried it before. And the liquor store man told me that port is very, very high in alcohol content. So let's try this together, shall we? I mean, it smells like regular wine. Mm. It's very tasty. It's a little bit sweeter than normal, but not like Concord grape wine. It still has a wine taste to it, so it's not like terribly sweet. I like it. But this definitely is a one glass kind of a wine. And this is probably even too much because, like, when I watch period dramas, they have like these teeny tiny little glasses. But this is the smallest glass I had. So, but anyway, we'll put this down for a second. Wait, one more swig. So today it is around 5:30 in the evening, and by the time I was able to film anything today, but I had a very, very productive first day of Victober, and it's not over yet because it's only 5:30. So this morning, bright and dark at 12 a.m., I started Grania, The Story of an Island by Emily Lawless, that I am buddy reading with my friend Terry from, I think her channel is Terry Talks Books. She hasn't posted in a while, but I will link her channel below. But anyway, I wanted to kick off Victober by starting right at 12 o'clock at night. And I only got about a page read before I fell asleep. And I have it on my Kindle. So I was like totally in the dark with just my backlight of my my Kindle. But I only got about a page read. But that page was beautiful. So I cannot tell you too much what it's about yet because it was basically just describing this place where the characters lived so far. We have gotten one or two characters, and actually it seems as though Grania is actually a girl, like a child, and I was unaware of that. I assumed that Grania was the name of the island. So, but there is a fisherman, and I believe it was his daughter, who is named Grania. So we'll see. I don't know. Maybe it was my sleep brain that was mixing that up. So we'll have to keep going. I have to still read a fair bit tonight in order to, start off strong with my buddy read. So I'll let you know how that goes. And then also, I'm going to consult my Victober page. I had my schedule that I wanted to keep up with written down, and I read one chapter of Shirley by Anne Bronte, Charlotte Bronte, and so far I only read the first chapter, but I really like it. You can just tell Charlotte Bronte's wit in this. She breaks the fourth wall like she does in Jane Eyre. She calls us the reader, and she's very snarky. She's like, if you think this is a romance and you think it's just going to be all, the passion of this romance or whatever, you're wrong. So I like that about her. So we don't really have too much going on quite yet, but I think it's going to be a really good book. And then I am also buddy reading A Woman in White by Wilkie Collins with my friend Sarah from, I almost said her last channel name. The Bookish Knitter is her channel name now. And we are buddy reading this by reading the same audiobook version. So we only read 2 chapters today, and those 2 chapters were super duper short. They were only like 15 minutes long. But those two chapters were very intriguing, and they're definitely leading up to some kind of a mystery, and I really want to keep going with this. so I might have to read more than two chapters tomorrow, but we'll see. Sarah said she looked ahead in the physical book, I guess, and she said that the next two chapters were a little bit longer, so I might get a little bit more satisfaction out of two chapters. And then the last thing that I read via audiobook today while I was at work was the first three chapters of Mary Barton by Elizabeth Gaskell. This is also a buddy read. I have all my buddy reads at the beginning of the month. And I'm reading this with Joe Smith, who is a lovely booktube commenter, and Christy Lewis from Dostoevsky in Space. And this is the first time reading, buddy reading with both of them. I've buddy read with Joe multiple times, and I've never buddy read with Christy before, other than like her read-alongs that she has done on BookTube. So it's going to be a very enjoyable experience. I'm excited. And I'm very excited to be reading Mary Barton with them because Elizabeth Gaskell is my favorite Victorian novelist at this point. And I have yet to read a couple of her main novels, and Mary Barton is one of them. But I really am enjoying it so far. It's very, very sad, which a lot of Victorian literature, starts out that way and sometimes does not get happier. but Elizabeth Gaskell tends to break up her sadness with some happiness, it seems like. So hopefully there will be a little bit of happiness here soon. But I am really loving the writing style, so which I always do with Elizabeth Gaskell. So let's see. So yeah, that is what I've done today. I think I've done pretty well. But tonight I want to, I told you already, I have to read with the schedule that I have with Terry. I have to read 5 chapters of Grania. And I also want to start listening to Two on a Tower by Thomas Hardy for the Stitch and Listen from that Kate Howe and Natalie from The Curious Reader are doing. So that's a lot of stuff to do tonight. But I think I have good mojo for the first day of Victober. So this clip has been rather long. So I'm going to go and drink the rest of my port and then hopefully be able to get out my cross stitch. And hopefully I won't be drunk or anything. And because there's a little needle, I might like poke a hole in my finger or something. No, I don't think that's going to happen. So I will come back in a little bit and show you my cross stitch that I am working on for the Stitch and Listen. I've already started it, but haven't gotten too far yet. It is a large cross stitch, so it will take me a while. I'm not sure that I will finish it in the month of October, but we'll see. Okay, I'm back. But I wanted to show you what I'm going to be working on, and then I will try to set it up fancy so that you can see what I'm doing. Not sure that that's gonna work, but we'll try it. But anyway, I am going to be cross-stitching this lovely pattern by Mrs. Pagodi Arts. And I will try to remember to leave her Etsy shop linked below. But this is a pattern that will be Alice in Wonderland. And I just loved the flamingo. And if you watched my TBR video, you will know that I'm going to be putting this, hopefully, in a couple of wall-mounted jewelry boxes that I have that have, they're basically like frames that I used to have just random pictures in, and now I have nothing. So this will hopefully look really nice in there. But this is what I have done so far. See, it is a rather large frame. I had to buy this because I had never done something this large. But if you look at this pattern, And look at that. It's like her neck. Because I tried to start in the center. So, but yeah. So it's like her neck, and I believe this is her bow, and maybe her lips, I think. So yeah, I'm not sure how much of this I will get done over the course of the next month, but it's like a 38-page pattern. So, I mean, blown up, of course, so it's not going to be like that huge, but yeah, let me see if I can set this up and we'll do a little time lapse. Hello, friends. Sorry for the bad lighting, but I am on my break at work and I thought I would just give you a little update. It is now Friday, it is around 3 o'clock, and my weekend is kind of jam-packed. It's my mom's birthday this weekend, and we just have a couple of, things going on for that. So I'm not sure how much reading I'm even going to get done, but we will try. So anyway, this morning I finished the first 5 chapters of Grania, The Story of an Island, and I was correct. Grania is a character in the story, not the island. And so far, the writing is beautiful. We have just gotten, a lot of the backstory on the characters of mainly the O'Malley family. Con O'Malley, who is the dad, Grania, who is 11, and Honor, who is the oldest daughter, who I don't know how old she is, but she is probably at least 14. So we are just getting kind of their family history and why there's only 3 of them in the family now, and kind of, meeting some of the other people that are involved in their lives, most notably Murdoch, who it appears the character of Grania is kind of in love with, even though she's only 11. I think he's like 14. So, I mean, back then they did all that earlier. So it's a really good story so far. Not a whole heck of a lot has happened yet, but I have a feeling it's going to get interesting. And that is pretty much the only thing that I have read so far, because I'm trying to physically read today. And it's been a slow day, so I've had a little bit of time to kind of peruse physical reading at work. And then also, non-Victorian reading-wise, I have been going through Strongman and the Mermaid by Kathleen Shoup. I am now about halfway through. I have been reading this with my friend Amanda from her Pacific Northwest Washington life. We started in September, but my schedule got nuts and I kind of went off the rails with our schedule. So now we're just kind of reading it as we can. So, but I'm really, really loving this story. It's a historical fiction, but it is based on the early lives of the parents of Stan Musial, who was a baseball player who was born in Denora, PA. So his father, Lukasz, was Polish, and an immigrant, and his mother, Mary, was first generation Czech. So it's just a really interesting thing to see the traditions that the Polish people and the Czechs have brought over from the old country to America. And I mean, this was set in 1910, so I'm not sure how many of those traditions still hold true today, but it was interesting to see in the 1910s what was still happening uh, to keep the traditions of the old country alive. So I'm really enjoying that. But yeah, other than that, nothing's really going on today so far. I'm probably going to do more audiobooks tonight while I knit and cross stitch. So I will try to get a little bit of like maybe filming tonight of me doing some crafting, but if not, I'll talk to you tomorrow. Okay, bye. Hello, friends. It has been a few days since I last updated, I think. It is now Sunday night. And I knew this weekend was going to kind of be a struggle as far as doing some updating. And I was right. But anyway, I have been doing some reading, but I haven't finished anything yet. After the first day, where I read like all the things that I have starting at the beginning of the month, I kind of limited myself the rest of the weekend to my buddy reads. So, one of the things that I was working on is a non-Victober read, and that was The Strong Man and the Mermaid, which I started reading in September and just have been luckily with Amanda, we always like do a schedule, but usually because of me, we end up like not really following the schedule. So luckily she's very nice about it. So we are now though over halfway through the book, and I have a physical copy, but I'm too lazy to go upstairs and get it because I just got home. It is like 8:45 at night, and I just got home from dinner with my parents. So it was a lot going on today. So, but yeah, so I am really enjoying this book a lot. It's very different from After the Fog as far as the style, and I'm liking that. I think that this style is a little bit more what I like. It goes back and forth in time and perspective, which sometimes I like, sometimes I don't. But in this case, I really do like it. And the characters are just really endearing, and it's not quite as harsh. I feel like After the Fog, the characters were very harsh and very I mean, they're all mill workers in both books, and there are very harsh characters, but this one is more YA, I would say, because the main characters are in their teens. And whereas After the Fog was definitely adult, and it came from like a middle aged married couple's perspective in Denora. So I just feel like this one has a little bit more like hopefulness to it because it's teenagers that want the American dream kind of a thing. So, but I like this style a lot better. Then also, I have been reading Mary Barton with my friends Joe and Christy from Dostoevsky in Space, and that's been really good too. This one, Mary Barton reminds reminds me a lot of North and South, but actually, it's been super depressing so far, and we're about 12 chapters in at this point, and like nothing terribly good has happened to anybody, which is kind of different from a lot of things that I've read by Elizabeth Gaskell. So I'm not sure how I feel about that, but it does have the writing style of Elizabeth Gaskell that I enjoy. I could use some lighthearted moments because there hasn't been a whole lot at this stage in the game. So, but I'm hoping like something good happens to somebody soon. but I'm kind of thinking that that's not going to be the case. And then also, let's see, what else have I been focusing on? Um, oh, hold on, let me go get my book because my brain is mush. Oh no, okay, no, Grania by Emily Lawless. Grania: The Story of an Island. I've been reading that with my friend Terry, and she in this book has been very beautiful. But I can't say that a whole lot has happened. I mean, it has, but it's kind of been like all off the page, sort of. Like we start the story when Grania is 11 years old, and then we make a big jump in the parts to where she is now, I think, 18, 17 or 18. So, and then a lot of things have happened in those 7 or 8 years that we didn't actually see happen. We just all of a sudden know that they have happened. And it's very, a lot of it is sad, and which seems to be the case for a lot of Victorian literature I'm finding through the years. But then there is a little bit of hopefulness to it. It's not completely without, some happiness. But you can just tell something really bad is probably going to happen. And there was a character that I kind of was hoping to like in the beginning, and I do not like him at all. So, sadness. But so those are, oh, and then I'm also, the other buddy read that I'm doing is A Woman in White by Wilkie Collins with my friend Sarah from the Bookish Knitter. And I'm not as far in that one, but I really like it. I think it's going to be suitably creepy for me in the month of October. I don't generally do the really creepy ones, but this one sounds like it's going to be just that little bit of like weird that I'm going to like. I just watched I just watched Charles Heathcote's you know, vlog from the first 4 days as well. And he was saying how like Victorian ghost stories creep him out, but yet he can read Stephen King and all this stuff. And I cannot read Stephen King or anything creepy. I just don't like it. I don't like horror or anything like that. But also suitably creepy Victorian ghost stories. Except, I mean, unless you're going to go A Christmas Carol, because I mean, I've seen and performed in that one so many times, it does absolutely nothing for me as far as creepiness factor. But like a ghost story that I don't really know the story that well could creep me out. So I won't be reading this tonight because I need to get to sleep. But yeah, so far I am enjoying that one as well. So the ones I haven't really continued with this weekend are Shirley and what's the other one? Oh, Two on a Tower for the Stitch and Listen. I got about 2 or 3 chapters into Two on a Tower and only about a couple of chapters into Shirley. So, but I mean, I'm liking both of them, but I had to pare it down this weekend just because I didn't really have a whole heck of a lot of time on my hands. So I'm hoping to get more deeply into those next week. So, yeah, that's about it. I think I'm going to end the vlog here for the first 4 days of Victober, and I will start a new vlog tomorrow for next week. So, and that one will probably be, well, hopefully have significantly more progress in it. So, but anyway, I hope you are having a great start to your Victober and that you are just having a lovely, cozy time. And I will talk to you in my next video, whether that be the next vlog or something else. We'll see what I have time for this week. All right, friends, I'll talk to you later. Bye.